So hi guys, my name is Nachiketa and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to build web applications with Python. And this is a very interesting library because I've made videos on building web application with Flask and Streamlit. And I think this is one of the easiest ones to implement. And basically, if you have any Python function which accepts an input and sends out an output, that can be integrated onto a web page. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and you can do pretty advanced stuff. You can easily deploy deep learning, machine learning models on a web page. You can deploy that onto the cloud. You can share that privately in an organization as well. But we'll get to the advanced stuff later. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this BMI calculator app. So this is what the web application will look like finally. So basically you can enter any height. So I'm just gonna show you how this basically works. If there's any height and there's a particular weight, it will tell you what the BMI of the person is. So for example, I've put the weight as 63. If I increase that and to 87, it will tell me that I'm overweight, and if I decrease the weight, then it will tell you that it's underweight. Basically there's an if else condition which is being executed in the backend. So if I decrease the height, let's say I put 120 and then I have the same weight, okay, it's still so if I change the height to 120 centimeters, then I submit it, it will tell me that you're healthy. So basically, based on the height and weight, it's going to calculate the BMI, which is the body mass index, and there's a particular formula for that. So basically, if you can integrate this function, you can integrate any function, right? So let's get started, and I'm just going to start straight away with the code, but this is the Gradio library. You will find the documentation over here, and it will allow you to integrate any function, any machine learning model. This over here is a digit recognizer model, and basically you can enter any digit and it will tell you the corresponding prediction. It sometimes doesn't really work well, so there is some fine tuning to the neural network that these guys have to do, but you can do anything, right? So you can see the original documentation, but I'll show you how to simply get started. So first thing that we do in Google Colab is we install the library using the pip command, and once it's installed, you just have to call it. You have to import it as any name you want. I've imported as gr. So this is the basic functionality. Let's start with a very basic function which accepts a particular name, and we just return hello and concatenate name and an exclamation mark, right? So basically it can be any function, right, which is accepting an input. Now to actually build the web application, we simply have to call the class gr.interface. We have to provide three things. First is what Python function we're gonna be wrapping the code around, right? So in this case, it's greet, and the input format is gonna be text, right? And the output format is also a text, right? So we are accepting a text and giving out a text, and we simply call iface.launch, and it will create the web application. Over here, share is equal to true is not needed. I'll tell you where it's needed. So if I just run this, right, you can see it's deploying that on to the local host, and it takes some time. So this is how the output is going to look like. You can execute the output on Google Colab itself, or it will give you an external link and you can open that and you can basically see the function working, right? Yeah, so your basic web application is working, and if you want to host that, right, this is basically, this link will expire in 24 hours. If you want to make it permanent, you need to host it. If you go to this link, they'll tell you how you can host that onto the cloud as well. So that's pretty cool. So a slightly more advanced function, nothing. If you want to calculate the BMI, I'm accepting three inputs this time. I'm accepting the name, I'm accepting the height in centimeters, and I'm accepting the weight, right? So the formula for BMI is given like this, right? So this is not something I've done. You can check that online as well. This is the standard function, right? So this is how the weight and height are related to calculate if a person is underweight, overweight, or healthy. So basically I'm gonna be giving two outputs this time instead of one output. First, I'm gonna be printing what the person's BMI is. So I do that using this statement. Basically, wherever the percentage sign is, this is acting like a placeholder. So in this statement, instead of these two percentage sign, the name and BMI variable is gonna be replaced. And based on the BMI, I'm using an if-else loop that if the BMI is less than 18.4, else output will be that you're underweight. If it's less than 24.9 and between 18.4, then the person is healthy, so on and so forth for overweight and severely overweight. So this is available again online, what is the healthy BMI range, and we have created an if else condition according to that. And I simply return both of these two outputs. Now, like before, we simply call the interface class and we have to provide what function we're gonna be using in the web page. The input this time is gonna be three things, right? The first input is name. So whatever variable name you have given, that is what will appear on the web page as well. So the first input is of type text, which is the name. The height is gonna be a number. And just to show you different types of input, we can also get a slider input for adding the weight. So the range of that slider will be between 0 to 100. So basically you can slide it and you can select any value. And the output again is going to be two things. First is the BMI output 1, which is a number, and second is the text. So you can go to the original documentation as well and you can see all the different types of input available. There are different kinds of you can see numbers, checkboxes, radio buttons, drop downs, and images as well if you want to run computer vision models. But you can, so I'll leave that in the link, you can check that out. So for now, again, share is equal to true is not necessary right now because it's basically to show the flow of the web application. So instead of, what I'm going to do over here is when I'm launching it, I'll add one parameter which is debug is equal to true. So what this does is that if there's any problem in the web application, right, we can see the error coming up in Google Colab. That helps you rectify it, right? Chances are that you'll mess up something in the first attempt, right? So this is the interface. I can test it right over here, or I can go on to the web application link and then do it. So this is the external URL that it has given me. So basically this app will work just fine, like as shown in the starting. So you can see the app working. If you vary the BMI and everything, you can see the difference in the output as well. And the reason I put debug is equal to true is because if there's any problem, right, it will show up over here. So let's say I'm gonna deliberately make some mistake. Let's say instead of the BMI variable, I'm replacing it as BMI in small letters because that's not been defined yet. So there should be an error in the program when I'm running it, right? So let's try to run this again. And so when I go to the external URL now, there should be an error that should come up, right? So let's say again I give anything and I add the weight, click on submit. It tells me that there is an error, right? So I can go back to Google Colab and I can see that the error over here, that BMI is not defined, and then I can make the rectification. So when if you are sure if once the app has worked correctly, then you can remove debug equals to true. Then you won't be able to view the error and you won't want that as well. So this is how this works. In my upcoming videos, I'm going to show you how you can easily integrate a machine learning or deep learning model and you can deploy that onto the cloud as well. So that was it for this video. If you did like it, do like this video and subscribe to this channel, and thank you for watching.